Whoa,
Oh,
whoa, whoa, whoa,
right?
whoa,
I
whoa.
guess our intro isn't working.
I guess, it was
Welcome
Sean.
to another episode of Roses Are Red podcast with your host, Mrs. Red Rose, her co-host, Sam I Am from the Married Couple Podcast, and AC from Midnight Media.
Welcome in, everyone. Well, that was a little late, but that's okay.
Sam, where are you?
I know. Where are you, Sam?
Where are you,
She's out
Sam?
having fun.
Not having fun. You're not allowed to do that.
We are missing someone today. She's not here with us. If you guys noticed, it's just me and AC, and maybe one other guest will be joining us a little bit later on.
Maybe.
So,
Yeah, I can't wait for that. That's great because you and I can do this perfectly well, but it's always fun to have another opinion coming in on the side, So
yes.
the third, because it's always good in what is it, non threes and not twos and fives and not, just because then that if two people agree, then the other person's like,
Absolutely.
You know what
Plus,
I mean? Maybe
this is a really interesting story. And I know you haven't seen it very much, and I know there's little parts and stuff, but this is such a crazy, whacked out story that you're just going to be like, wow. Because even in the documentary, it's going to blow your mind. And if you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's on Hulu, and it's called the Natalia Grace, The Good American Family. And it's
The Good American
great.
Family.
It's crazy.
We're gonna bring up a couple things here. We have it's from Inside Edition. We're gonna play that, and I'll look up some other stuff here for Natalia. But can you tell us a little bit about this this woman? This girl.
This interesting. Well, even my son saw it, and he had some mixed feelings. He's like, "Mom, I really think she's a young girl," and so it's about this girl that was
Don't give away the game.
I'm not going to give away the game. She was adopted with an American family into the U.S., and she came, I believe, from Russia,
Ukraine.
I want to say, or the UK, Ukraine. And she does have dwarfism. So, so this family adopted her, and the issue was that they wanted the first one, the reason why they ended up with her is so they first had adoption paperwork for a little girl in Tahiti, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, but that was hit with a tsunami, and that adoption didn't go through. So then after all that didn't go through, a couple weeks later, they get a call from another adoption agency in Florida and say, "Hey, we've got a little girl. She seems great. She seems like a good candidate, but you need to come now. Like you need to come get her now, or she's going into the system." And so they said, okay, they booked the next flight. They went out to go pick her up. Everything seemed good, but they still didn't let her see her. So they signed all these paperwork, did everything, but they still weren't allowed to see her. And then, mind you, they have 3 other boys. And I believe his name is Michael. He also has a sister that has dwarfism.
Oh.
So he's there's a background there that I'm pretty sure he knows. It's not the same one that she had, but similar.
The type.
Yeah. And so they were all excited. It was all great and dandy. They finally bring the little girl. She comes out cute as a button. Cute as a button. Cute little girl. They bring her back home, and then things just start acting a little weird. The face features didn't add up to the age. Apparently, when they adopted her when she was 6. So
a young girl.
A young girl in the hotel room that they were at. The new mom, she decided to give her a bath. When she decided to give her a bath, she down in the peach area had full grown hair like an adult.
Wait, so, but a peach is a male organ.
I mean, the female part. I meant to say. The female part had a lot of hair. So how can a 6-year-old have all this hair?
I see.
So that was the first flag that she got. So they said maybe because of hormones, they didn't know. They just kind of
but they didn't investigate any further.
No.
Okay.
They took her home, and then things started getting a little weird. She started acting out.
Now things get weird after they found pubic hair on a 6-year-old.
Yeah.
Okay.
her home, and at home she started acting out, like, even to the point where when she was driving, she covered her eyes, she would hit the post and at the same time she saw that her son was out playing in the driveway. So, like, little things like that, and
Little things like that. So once again, she would try to like cover the mom's eyes while she was
yeah, like
driving.
driving or annoy her kids or the youngest little boy that's about 6 years old that she had biologically hers,
Mm-hmm.
also would do things to annoy him in the car, like would pinch him, would, spit on like stuff in the car so, these were red flags.
Got
And
it.
let me bring up, I hope
I got some too. So
oh, do you? Okay, cool.
Hmm?
All right.
I have so I have the inside edition, and then I have the one that the trailer for the Good American Family.
Okay. So this story is based on this girl. There was 6. Now, according to them, and we'll get further into the story and how things progressed to where they got on it, is there, and the reason why the woman's in jail, the mom that adopted her, is because they believe that the family believes that she wasn't 6 when they adopted her, that she was much older.
Really?
So that is the interesting part, right?
That is interesting. Okay. So
okay.
So let's this is the intro for the Hulu. Let's see what it says.
Okay, perfect.
Known I was put on this earth.
Are we even allowed to do this? We're allowed to do this, right? We're not gonna get dinged for this.
I hope not.
No, we're not.
To build a world where all kids can feel safe.
Hi, is this Mrs. Barnett? I see you were on the path to adopting. We have a little girl here.
We have an old lady that you would love.
She is 7 and she has dwarfism.
And what's her name?
Natalia Grace.
Natalia Grace. That is beautiful. This is Natalia.
Are you gonna be my mommy and daddy?
We sure would love that.
It's not a 6-year-old girl, dog. Like, come on. Like, I get it's a reenactment and all, but like, if you fall for that, that's rough. When a grown-ass woman comes to the door.
But if you'll have us.
It's a tragedy, really. I mean, we're her second adopted family. First one gave her back. My God, why? No idea why.
I can give you a couple ideas why. I think it's coming.
Are you giving me back too?
What? Of course not.
Get up, sweet pea.
Tastes a lot better with a big squirt of ketchup.
Really? There's going to be an ad? So what is that? What even is that? That doesn't even make me hungry.
Do you have her school records?
That's her birth certificate.
This one's not even in English.
Why is this bothering you? They let her in, right?
We're supposed to be on the same
Don't
team.
do that. We are on the same team.
Something is off. She has adult teeth. There are signs of puberty. Michael? I don't think she's a little girl.
Bitch, she's 26 or whatever. I don't think she's a little girl.
We're with Child Protective Services.
What?
There's been some concern about the safety of the children in your home.
Did someone leave you there?
You have no idea how those people hurt this girl. We are helping her.
She's choosing to con us. You're choosing to believe her.
You're the one lying to me.
You should get a lawyer.
What the hell are we supposed to do now?
The photo isn't her. She stole someone's identity.
I don't know what's going on.
How old are you?
28.
Right.
If you tell a story well enough, truth doesn't always matter.
Folks just love a good American family.
Hello, I'm from Ukraine. I'm here to be part of the family. Do you think, did she make a pass at the dad?
Oh, they say that she did. They say that she was when they put her in her own apartment. The people around there say that she was.
Whoa. That's far in the story.
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay, let's back up. You want to read an article about it? Or do you want to read a bit about it? Or do you want to talk about it?
Before we go into that part, I want to show you what she really looked like at that age when she came home. So uh,
How do I?
Share screen.
There you go. Take it over.
I almost forgot to share screen.
Oh, there's the circles again.
There we go. This is her.
Oh no,
right
that's really
now.
her. That's not.
Well, that was her. That was her when she was back then, when she came to live with the family.
Okay. Hello, I'm from Ukraine.
So let me play this here.
Good. Remember, we got ding last time for TikTok.
Oh, there's music. Yeah.
Careful.
I don't think there's any music on this. Though.
Okay.
For years.
Hi, Natalia. Hi.
In 2010, Natalia was adopted by a family from Indiana who was told that she was a 7-year-old Ukrainian orphan. But her adopted parents, Michael and Christine Barnett, claimed they discovered she was really an adult with dwarfism.
Oh my God.
Now, look at her face. She's a cutie.
She's cute. Yeah, she's cute.
I don't.
The girl that they got for Hulu is not cute. She looks like a goblin.
So she's a cutie. Now, do you think she looks like a 6-year-old?
Between 6 and 12.
Okay.
I mean, but then you see her walking, and it's hard. Then diseases and stuff kind of change you in different ways. So I could see how you could think that maybe she looks older because of the dwarfism, but at the same time, because of different things that happen, and chemically in their body, whatever that is. I could see how there could be that kind of leeway, but I don't know. They certainly don't make her look like that in Hulu. Like she looks like a grown, like a 26-year-old, Ukrainian ice skater.
Yeah.
So
let me play a little bit more of this here.
Just posing as a child. Barnett told Inside Edition in 2019 that she was a violent sociopath.
She's got a monthly cycle, and she's hiding it. She had spent every waking day attempting to ruin everybody else's life in the house.
And what about the period? The period.
She's trying to kill it.
Yeah.
Exactly. The period's got me.
The Barnetts petitioned to court to legally change her age to 22.
Oh my
left
God.
her in an apartment and fled to Canada. They were charged with neglect of a dependent, but were fully exonerated.
Of course you're fully exonerated. Thank God.
That's her now.
Series, The Curious Case of Natalia Grace, Natalia
Why?
Speaks.
Why is she in jail?
Discovery
She's gotta
Plus
be in jail.
and Max.
She's not in jail.
Why not?
In the docuseries, Natalia
She,
takes a DNA test to try to prove once and for all how old she is.
Want to take a look at the results?
Yes.
Natalia holds hands with her new adoptive father.
What?
Here are the bombshell results. A DNA test shows she is currently 22 years old.
Huh?
Means she was
Look at her
indeed a
face.
child of 9, not an adult, when she was adopted in 2010.
Oh.
This is so big.
Now, do you
Why was she
think?
at a monthly cycle?
Yeah, well, at 9, some kids get them at 9 now.
Sure, but I mean,
So that means 6,
Wow,
7,
she's
8,
a
9. That's
dwarf.
3 years. That means she's 3 years older than what they thought they were. They were
no, I don't
adopting.
think so.
Child.
I don't think so. Well, how was she so diabolical?
So they said that when they were adopting her, she was actually 6.
Okay,
When
right?
they
No, or 7. This thing said 7. Also.
So then 7. But in the documentary it says that she was 6.
Okay.
So when she took this DNA test, they proved that at that time they adopted her, she was 9.
Mhm.
So they had her for a whole year, so that's 10, and she was having periods and hiding them in the closet, like
At 10.
at 10, between 9 and 10. I don't know when that came out.
Well, wouldn't you just say, "Hey, Mom, I'm having my period at 10"?
But remember, she wasn't 10. She was technically supposed to be 6 or 7 at that time.
Okay, fine. Well, I'm having my period at 6. Like, what's happening? And at
You
6,
know?
I think your mom is a little bit more hands on at age 6. Not so like hands off. Like she's all over your shit.
Yeah. Well, and not only that, at 6, you're cleaning up their room. You're
Right,
in
you're
there. I
constantly-
mean,
Yeah. I mean, you're
so
just
she was hiding them. She was using socks
she was
and in
using
the
socks.
sock
Okay.
as a pad, and then she would hide them underneath the basket, and then they would get washed.
Honey, why are we missing so many socks?
Well,
Do you have your
why
period?
yeah, right. Or I mean, why wouldn't you live? I mean, I don't know. Like I know when I clean my kids' room, I
Mhm.
move everything, and
Right. Well,
So
you're different. But yeah.
wouldn't you figure to move the basket out
Yeah.
of dirty clothes,
Sure.
the laundry
Yeah.
basket? I mean,
That yes. That yes.
or the
Again,
toy basket.
it's more about her too. It's like, hey, Mom, American mom, I have my strawberry days. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I'm having, you know, however you want to say it. But like, it both, I see culpability here of both of them. One's not moving the basket and not hands-on enough to like find out that her 6 or 9-year-old is having a period. And
or
then she,
if she knew and she was hiding it.
And if she was just as old as she was, whatever, 9, doesn't matter how old you are. Just like I would tell my mom, you know what I mean? Like, it's just pretty weird on both sides.
I think she's a good manipulator. I
But
really
I mean,
do.
what is she manipulating? She really is a child. What is she manipulating?
Well,
she really she's a child having a period.
According to what this whole documentary is about, is she needed to come to the US to have certain surgeries, and you can't have them as an adult because then you're coming into America with a visa, remember, until you're adopted. And then when the adoption, you have to do all the paperwork. If you're a child, then you get the Medi-Cal and stuff like that for your child with needs that they'll pay for the operations, and you'll get, certain benefits from the government. If you're an adult, you don't really get them because you're on a visa, so you'll lose your visa status if you're an adult.
Okay.
So I think she played the role.
But
yeah,
she knew this at age 9.
I think her and her mother, her biologically mother probably did, and told her this is the best bet for you to do. Go to the US and get the surgeries you need. We can't afford it here.
Something's not adding up here. Then why did they think she was older? Just because she had her period? And why did she make a pass at the dad? She was 9. Like, you know what I'm saying?
9. Well, she also had 3 other boys in the house, where she was getting knives and collecting them underneath her bed. She was saving these knives. And
it seems like an older activity. You get what I'm saying though? It seems like like she really was older. Like I don't necessarily believe that she wasn't. Like the fact that he's saying she's 22 now. Like, what? Okay, let me take a look at these comments. Maybe it'll clear something up. So it says, you can clearly see that she was a little girl there because look at her now. She was so cute though. The messed up part was that she was disabled, knowing that she couldn't do much, and they abandoned her. They are so wrong in so many ways. Bad behavior or not, she was 100% a child. I believe the Barnetts. I do not believe that Natalia. She wanted them to unalive them. People say this about Natalia and then praise Gypsy Rose for unaliving her abuser. That's a child. Crazy that people approve this birth date change. Everyone involved in this process needs to be exposed. There's a movie about this. Why wanted Natalia kill the Barnetts?
Okay. So in the movie, in the documentary, she was saving the knives, and she was going to one of her things is that she wanted the whole entire family dead.
Why? Again, an older thought,
Yeah. And so this is when everything started processing. They were like, okay, you're older. We got to get you checked. They started checking out. The birth certificate didn't match up with the picture of hers. It was another little girl. So that was a red flag. The mom, the mom went to deep dive into this. And the reason why this all happened is one of the doctors, so the doctors did all these tests on her teeth, everything. They said, no, she's actually 22. She's not, she's
22 older. Then or now?
That was then. I believe I think at 18. I think she was like 18, if I'm not mistaken.
You get me? Like, I want to know, like, this DNA test, was that, she says she's 22 today, which means that she was abandoned as a child. But a child wouldn't do all that shit.
Well, and at 8, I believe if it's 18, if I'm not mistaken, it was 18. Let me double check on that.
18 what? What do you mean?
When they made her an adult to be on her own.
Okay. Yeah, but still, like, that's my question though. Like, she does not look like a like when she was a kid, when she was a kid getting adopted, she's not doing things a kid does, right? It's kind of adulty, but yet she just did a DNA test like now, present day, that says she's 22.
Yeah.
And then, you know what I'm saying? So she was a kid thinking all those things. Like, she was collecting knives and had her period, and like everything screams that I'm an adult. You know what I'm saying?
I'm telling you, this story is so
But then
bizarre.
These people here are saying that she's 22 today, which makes her a kid when they abandoned her. But then again, she made a pass at the dad. She's collecting knives, she's trying to kill everybody. Why? To get operations. that she couldn't have as a child. And then also, she is a child coming from Russia or from Ukraine. She is a child. So why would the mom say, pretend to be a child and go through, you know what I'm saying? Like go to America and then get these operations as a child. She has to be an adult. They were sending her, you know, like that doesn't make any sense.
Let me share this here.
I'm trying to work through it here and I don't get it. I'm gonna bring up an article.
So this article says they successfully sorted out on the court legal change from her birth year from 2003 to 1989. So that would put her at what at that time? Right now it'd be 22. So it'd put her,
I don't know, 32, 33.
Yeah.
Let's Wikipedia. Let's see.
I'm telling you, the story is so wicked. I'm just like,
why do you think? Why is it wicked?
I think it's so crazy for me is because there's so many good people that want to adopt children, and especially coming from other places of the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, it's kind of crazy is that because something like this might scare somebody that really wants a family that
Obviously,
maybe they can't have.
Of course,
you know,
I mean, this is not the first time. You know,
yeah,
this happens many times. But the point is, like, if you take what the doctor just said right now, and you believe that she's 22 today, she was a kid then. So it's keep adopting. You did the right thing, family. You adopted a little girl, right?
Oh, yeah, but maybe that's not what they wanted. Maybe they wanted, you know, a 6-year-old to raise because they had a little boy, and
But
maybe they wanted to,
she was 9.
you know,
but she was 6 or 9. That's not too far apart. You know what I'm saying?
too far. But sometimes people might look at that as that could be a deal breaker for some people. Maybe
difference? For real.
Some people. I mean, I'm just saying it could be. I don't know. For me, I don't think it would.
3 years doesn't mean wanting to kill me. Period. Pass to the dad. Like that's all. You know. I see how confused I am.
Yeah. No, I get it. I mean, yeah, it's definitely a very crazy story.
But we have to know why it makes it crazy, and who thinks she's 20? Who thinks she was 28? Who thinks she's old, and who thinks she's like this doctor? Just closed the case. Like she's 22 years old.
Yeah.
Like,
well, and
do we believe him? Like, is he paid off by somebody? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, who is he?
Well, I mean, DNA doesn't.
I don't know how to read DNA. Do you?
I don't know, but this doctor did. I guess.
I have to trust people to read it. I have no idea. I have to.
To be honest with you, I didn't even know you could do that with blood. I mean, I never knew that could even. It would never cross my mind. I'd be like, well, how the hell do you find out someone's birthday if it's not? You know what I mean? If it's not on paper, that's my mind go like, well, there's a hospital that has your info. Somewhere along the line has. I wouldn't think in my head. Maybe I just not thinking clearly of. Oh, your DNA can tell you how far back you can,
Absolutely.
Tell.
Oh yeah, everything. It tells you every single thing. That's why blood is precious because you can literally glean anything from it. You can get any kind of answer you need. How old you are, what you've been in contact with. I mean, that's why people just go for blood tests, and then that's it. And that's all they really need. Okay, so it says here. Let's see. Maybe we get some. All right, so I guess it's episodic, right? It comes out little by little. It's not like it's not one big documentary or one movie.
No, this is an episode. The Hulu series of The Great American is a series, but there's a documentary of just her. Now, the guy that talks on that documentary, I'm gonna be really honest. His voice, you just really want to like. It's irritating.
It irritates you.
There's a couple people that are like, oh yeah, I can't watch it. The way he speaks to you're just like, oh my god, just say it proper, like just say it.
Okay.
It's just annoying.
Okay, so it says the Barnetts adopted Natalia in 2010, believing that she was a child, but later claimed she was a dangerous adult who misrepresented her age. The assertions led by a judge to change Natalia's birth year from 2003 to 1989, legally making her 22 years old at the time they left her alone in the abandoned Lafayette. Alone in a Lafayette. It's a typo. Alone in a Lafayette in 2003. During the Dr. Phil interview, when she was on Dr. Phil, Natalia denied the allegations. It's not true at all, she said. as a report by USA Today, visibly emotional while responding to McGraw's question about whether she had scammed the Barnetts by lying about her age. McGraw himself questioned the logic of the Barnetts, claiming she's asking, "Are you a 33-year-old scam artist?" After the Barnetts relinquished custody, Natalia needed a new home. She was introduced to Cynthia Mans by one of the neighbors in 2013. Natalia and Cynthia formed a quick bond, and days later, Natalia moved into the Mans family. Eventually, Natalia left the Mans family following several years of what she said often described as a strict, religiously driven parenting. So this is 3 now. Now this is 3 different families that have left her. Okay. And then eventually Natalia left the Mans family following several years of what others have described as a strict, religiously driven parenting by them. She now lives with the DePaul family, who took her in, and she left the Manses. As reported by today, word your heart. As reported to by SamToday.com, the DePauls, described as a supportive household, have helped Natalia rebuild her life following the years of instability. Did Natalia Grace's parents go to jail? What happened to the Barnetts? Let's see. Here, let's share the screen. Let me do that.
All right. Yeah.
You share something? Oh, there we go.
Oh, I was just putting on the what she looked like.
Sure. Let's see. Yeah. DNA test, right? There we go. Boom. And that's what I had here. Where's that screen? I lost that screen. There it is.
DNA test results finally confirmed the true age of little Natalia Grace, who's been at the center of a bizarre controversy that's riveted America for years.
Hi, Natalia. Hi.
In 2010, Natalia was adopted by a family from Indiana who was told that she was a 7-year-old Ukrainian.
She looks 7 there. I'm gonna call it like I sees it.
I don't think. I think she looks a little older to me.
Older than 7?
Yeah.
Okay.
The features look a little older to me. But then again, when you have, certain, like when you have dwarfism, some people look older, some people look younger. I mean, that has a lot to play. It's because of the dwarfism they have, and that's something you can't. It's just what you've got. You know what I mean? Like, so some of them look older and some of them look younger and some of them are drop dead gorgeous.
Okay.
But her adopted parents, Michael and Christine Barnett, claimed they discovered she was really an adult with dwarfism and that she was just posing as a child. Barnett told Inside Edition in 2019 that she was a violent sociopath.
She's got a monthly cycle and she's hiding it. She had spent every waking day attempting to...
Why would this family lie?
I see. That's the thing. I don't know. Like, I don't get it because it's not like they're receiving money, right? It's not like I know that she was a big advocate on. Hey, there is Selena. And she actually, my daughter watched this with me. And we watched the documentary together. Mm-hmm. I don't know why they would lie. I don't see a benefit.
A benefit, right? Exactly.
Yeah. I have no idea.
What's the deal? What I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Okay.
Ruin everybody else's life in the house. She's threatening to kill us. She's trying to kill us.
Their story made headlines when the Barnetts petitioned a court to legally change her age to 22, left her in an apartment, and fled to Canada. They were charged with neglect of a dependent, but were fully exonerated. This is Natalia today in a new...
She looks 33. I'm just going to put that out there too. You know what I mean?
She looks older, right?
So here she looks like she was an older woman back then. Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to say that. And again, you don't have the wherewithal when you're a kid to seduce a fucking man.
Documentary series, The Curious Case of Natalia Grace, Natalia Speaks, streaming on Discovery Plus and Max.
I want you to know how old I am.
In the docuseries, Natalia takes a DNA test to try to prove once and for all how old she is.
Want to take a look at the results?
Yes.
I don't know about this.
Right? I just don't know what would I mean, I know that the mom was a big advocate on children with disabilities because I think her 3 sons had
she's adopting a disabled girl from Ukraine. I mean, that alone makes you a saint. No one does that.
I just don't know what she would gain. Like, I don't understand what would the mom and the father gain
from lying about this. No, from lying. Adopting, it's because it's their nature. They love kids. They
Well, and
think
they were going to
disabled.
adopt before
Yeah.
her. They already had a process of adopting another
Correct.
child
Like,
from
this isn't new. It's not
Haiti.
new, right? Right. It's not new. It's these people are like, okay, we have disabled children. We already have a house ready for disabled children. We want more children. This is perfect. We're saving one. There's a war or whatever. You know, back in 2013, there was also a war in Ukraine. So, you know, like, bring them over. And of course, I think all the intentions are pure.
Yeah.
And then why would you make up these people who are here, saints, literally on earth, canonized saints that are helping children from war-torn countries come and have a stable life from Indiana? These people, like, everything screams like they're really nice people. Like, why would they have nothing to gain from saying this chick has a cycle? In the middle of Inside Edition, she has a cycle, she's crazy, she's a sociopath. Like, their life is over in their little community.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
I don't see any signs. I don't see anything. I mean, or maybe there's something there I'm missing. For all you listeners out there, let us know if there's something I'm missing. I can't see it. Please tell us, because I watched the documentary and I just don't see where the benefit would be on lying because, like I said, it's not like they were making this public. It's not like they were out there showing her off to people.
Correct.
They weren't saying, "Hey, praise me. I've got, we just adopted this little girl." Oh, Selena, I have no idea where Marcos is at. You might want to text him.
Talia holds hands with her.
No, I hear you. Yeah, let's finish this because I have more questions, man. And this
family that adopted her at the end. Oh boy, we'll get into that.
Oh boy.
Her new adoptive father. And here are the bombshell results. A DNA test shows she is currently 22 years old, which means she was indeed a child of 9, not an adult, when she was adopted in 2010.
This is so big because literally this has been 13 years. 13 years of just two people lying their butts off.
This is one of the more twisted cases I've ever covered. This case, you're up and down. You're believing one side, then you're believing the other side.
I don't get it. I don't get what the motivation is. I want to find motivation here.
I don't see it with them. I don't see it now, because remember, she was also getting benefits and they were sending it to her. Like, they were paying for her apartment, for food, granted she had to take care of her apartment by herself, which she wasn't, because she just, I don't know.
Who sent her money?
She was getting, I believe, like a disability or something, some type of check she was receiving from the government, some type of assistance. So
okay, we'll look into that. It's hard to believe that a little Ukrainian girl would be getting assistance from the government.
Well, if she was adopted into a United States family and became a U.S. citizen, she would get benefits.
That's clutch. Did she ever become a U.S. citizen in the time that she was dropped off?
I believe she did. I want to say she did.
And how could you if you're 9? You know what I mean? Let's see. Yeah. Let's find out. So, did Natalia Grace's parents? Let's go here. Okay, I guess we can. Yeah, let me get rid of this. Stop that, and then we'll look at this article here, because it doesn't make any sense to me. And plus, that little girl will be out of my. Well, that woman. It will be out of my house so fast. So fast. We're gonna do our segment, Ask AI. We're gonna find out what AI knows about it.
And here's the thing too. My other thing is that she has more to gain than the Barnetts.
Who does?
Natalia.
Natalia. Of course she does. Yeah.
I mean, now look at there's a series on her out here. There's a movie on her. Like, she has more to gain.
Well, she didn't know that at the time. And plus, she's a little girl, right? Like, how would she know all this shit? Like, that's my point. Like, how does she know all of the things to manipulate people with at 9?
Well, even they were talking about in the documentary, they were saying that in the apartment that she was at, she would go down to an apartment downstairs or next door, and she would spend hours with this man in there. People were saying she was seducing the guys down the street. Like, they were, all this stuff. There's a lady that goes on there, and I'm like going, how in the world? Because when they took her,
anybody check her shit for
Well, when they took her to the mental hospital, because she said she wanted to kill the entire family and they were really scared. So they took her to a mental hospital, and in that mental hospital, she was very sexual with the guys there and the workers there.
Mm-hmm.
And the hospital called them and said, hey, you need to come get her because we can't control her.
How can you not control a 9-year-old girl?
Well,
you know what I mean?
Well, and what I don't
9-year-old
understand
girl.
well, here's the thing. If you're in the mental hospital, isn't that where, like, if you're having, like, I don't know. I don't,
Criminals go there, right?
I didn't understand that part, why they couldn't help her. So they told her, you need to come pick her up because we can't handle her.
It doesn't work like that. Okay.
Right? That doesn't make sense to me, but
Yeah.
that's what they said in the documentary.
Okay.
Where she was very sexual there in the ward.
No shit. I'm with you. Neither Michael nor Christine Barnett served jail time. Both were charged in 2019 with neglect of a dependent. Michael was found not guilty in 2022, and charges against Christine were dropped in 2023. In a deleted Facebook post, Christine Barnett wrote, quote, if there had been any abuse of Natalia or evidence of it, I would have been guilty and I would be in jail. She added that I believe Natalia takes advantage of that sympathy to manipulate people. 2013, Christine published a memoir about her son, A Spark, a mother's journey, a mother's story of nurturing genius and autism. In 2019, her address was listed in Florida, and she was largely remained out of the public eye. So what people are saying is that the reason I decided to do it, this is Pompeo, right? The Ellen Pompeo, the actress. The reason I decided to do it was I had a Zoom, almost like 2 or 3 hour Zoom with Imogen Faith Reed, who played Natalia. She is fantastic, and it was her conviction, telling the story, blah, blah, blah. She's from the UK, blah, blah, blah. This is about, right. What happens next, though? Like, what I need answers, and we're only going to get it here. So we have to piece it together ourselves, Rose. We're detectives. Yeah. Are you ready to detectivize?
Let's be detectives, because I've got a lot of questions. Like you said, why would the parents,
Yeah.
Holy shit, I didn't even know she had tattoos until right now.
See?
I think that's the part I might have fallen asleep.
I'm not a liar. I'm not a liar, says Natalia Grace. She breaks her silence and defends herself against violence allegations.
It's like being known as the girl who was re-aged and lived in her own apartment at 7 years old. I don't like being known for the little girl that was helpless and was beat and starved.
Hello and welcome to Why America.
I'm sorry about that. Beat and starved. That's bullshit. What are you talking about? Oh, man. Hold on one second. Shit.
I really dislike being known as the girl who was re-aged and lived in her own apartment at 7 years old. I don't like being known for the little girl that was helpless and was beat and starved and all that. I don't, because that's not who I am. That's just what happened to me.
So that's, I mean,
it is definitely a blessing to be alive today. Because looking back at like my 7-year-old self,
I'm sorry, but she does not look.
Should have been dead.
But people don't know what happened in that house. They tortured me. I was abused.
I wonder.
Christine is
said that this lady was like
overdosed me and everything like that. And I don't see how somebody could survive that, especially with me being so small and being so reactive to medicine and stuff like that. To me, it's like surprising. Because I feel like I shouldn't have survived that.
Okay, so she shouldn't have survived that. That means there was abuse, there was all types of shit going on, right?
That's what she's claiming. She's claiming there was abuse. The mom was a horrible lady. And it just was awful. Like the mom just didn't care for her, locked her in a room, like stuff like that. But I don't know. I mean, if you threaten my children and and I'm seeing you do weird things in my house.
There you go. That's my next point.
I mean, what do you expect? I mean, and I know a lot of people are going, well, should have been like this or that. But at the same time, where are the consequences if your kids are bad? Aw, no, Poppy, he just wants kisses from daddy.
Continue.
Where would you, where's the consequences for being bad?
Oh, God. So that's my point is this. Like, and I was going to actually do it just exactly like you did it. I was going to be like, well, you adopt this girl, and weird shit happens, and you see things, and then she threatens your kids, and then like there's going to be violence, you know. Yeah. Like first you're going to discipline her like a kid, which is like hitting them, you know, and then what, you know, then what happens? Oh God, yeah. Betty, Jesus, oh, they got my brains, Betty. Oh God. Oh God.
Well, and where's the consequence? Like what are you supposed to do? I mean, just because you adopt a child, you're not allowed to put them in timeout. You're not allowed to.
Yeah, that's not the issue. Yeah, I guess you're not allowed to hit a 22-year-old woman once you find out that she's 22. Like, I don't believe her at all. No. I don't believe her at all. Let's see here.
That's the dad. That was the dad. Oh my God. When you tell me you know what? I'm just going to let you look at it. And then I'm going to tell you how I feel about this whole piece with him. Okay.
I forgive you.
I will say forgiving Michael was a little like the priorities lie. It's with your kids, but it's not with all your kids. And that's why Michael has never been a father to me.
I'm so sorry.
What are you sorry about?
I forgive you.
I will say forgiving Michael was a little like the tiniest grain of salt easier to forgive than Christine. Only reason why is because
you know those little hands that are on the internet? You ever seen the little hands on a stick?
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
He was like
you shut the fuck up.
Careful,
you could say. Christine was the main perpetrator. It took me some years.
Christine was the main perpetrator. Let's put a pin in that, okay?
Forgive. And it took me a little longer with Christine. I have not talked to Christine, nor will I ever for as long as I live. Because, yes, I forgive her. But no, I never want anything to do with her.
I forgive her, but no.
Okay, so you won't forgive her, or you won't talk to her, but you'll talk to him when, it doesn't make sense to me.
Remember, it was the tiniest little grain of salt easier to forgive him.
Yeah, but I
wonder why, because maybe she likes him.
Now, I wish there's a spot where he's talking, just for you to see how he talks and how his demeanor is, and you let me know what you think. If I don't know if there's a part in there. No, that's not him.
There's the new family. It's all the new family there.
Oh yeah, that's another.
What's his name?
Michael Barnett.
Michael Barnett, right?
Barnett.
Okay, gotcha. Let's look at the new family real quick before we leave this video. So I thought I saw them here. There we go.
And that the petitioners, Antoine Corey Mans and Cynthia Mary Renee Mans, from this day forward shall be known as her parents.
They've showed me what a dad and what a mom really is, and actually showing me love. I remember for I think maybe a year.
That's a three-way couple.
Year or two,
I'm putting it right now. That's a three-way. Hey, how you doing, man?
I was still in survival mode for a while, and I remember my parents having to sit me down and be like, "You're not going anywhere." And no, I was not legally their child at the time, but I felt like their child, and they showed me what love is. And like I said, just because we have our problems or anything like that doesn't mean that they don't love me.
You're an old lady. What's up, Marcos? How are you?
What's up, man?
How's it going?
Good. I don't think my microphone's working. It's weird.
It doesn't sound like your microphone's on. What do you think about this case here?
Oh man, I read a lot about it and watched a couple of videos today, and it's crazy.
Right?
It's crazy.
Now, wait until you get into the new family. Wait until you get to the new family. Start talking about the new family, because it gets crazy. Like the way she met her, picked her up. So she met her. She was sitting on the side of the road, resting her feet because her feet in the movie, it shows that her feet were all, it was all bloody and stuff, and she was in a lot of pain. This lady pulls over and says, "Hey, are you okay?" When she says, "No, I'm fine. It's okay," because she's traumatized that her mom said, "You tell people that you're an adult just trapped in a little kid's body, a little kid."
Yeah.
Well, she says, "No, there's in the background you hear, there's some pew pews going off," and they right away go. She goes, "Okay, let me give you a ride home," and so she puts her in the car.
This
Then
is after she was dropped off, like, see you later in an apartment?
Yeah, she had already had her apartment. She was already going to school. She was already settled by herself.
And she knew to do this all by herself.
By herself. Well, they helped her go to school. They helped her get the apartment.
Who's they?
Michael Barnett and
Oh, so
the
they
lady.
didn't just drop her off.
Yeah, no. They got her an apartment. They put food in there. They made sure she was taken care of. They would come and check on her, make sure electricity was paid, the lights were like, they took care of her in the apartment. They didn't just say, "Here you go, figure it on your own."
Okay, wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah. So so this other lady pulls on the side of the road, gives her a hand, and says, "Hey, why don't you come? I have to go to the grocery store. Why don't you come with me? And then I'll feed you dinner, and then I'll take you home."
Come with me.
Interesting, right?
Come with me, Hansel and Gretel. Come with me. I'll join them in the oven. You're plump and juicy.
Takes her to the grocery store. When it comes time to pay, she looks over at her and she goes, "Well, you know what? For bringing you home to my house,
you got any money?
Why don't you pay? Yeah, why don't you pay? Because you have an EBT card for the
Well,
groceries.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then you could take home the leftovers."
She got to get hers.
Okay.
You got to get hers too,
Yeah, $200 and some dollars worth of groceries. She sure did get hers.
But the kindness of her heart, that she already felt the kindness of her heart with these people, with Christine. You know what I mean?
Oh, well, we'll see towards the end. When we get towards the end, she still feels the kindness of her heart. So she does that. And, then she says, "Why don't you stay? We'll watch a movie." So she falls asleep and she watches the movie. Mind you, the husband is a call him a Baptist, I think is what they call them. If I'm not mistaken, right, Marcos? A Baptist?
Yeah.
A Baptist. And he wants to be called like a minister or something, right? Like he's part of a church. He's like not a priest, but wants to be called something like that in those longs of terms.
I'll look it up.
Yeah.
Didn't you guys watch this?
I know. I apologize. I'm all over the place. And they even asked him in one of the, I believe, in one of the series, they asked him, like, "How did you get that title? How did you get that name? How did you get," and he said, "Well, I gave it to myself because this is what I want to be called." I'm like, okay. And mind you, they have 7 or 8 kids, something like that they've brought home, which is very interesting because I think he's got a couple cases on some of those kids' parents against them. Yeah.
Is this that you're saying part of that show that you're watching?
It was the documentary of Natalia Grace, the second one, not the movie part, but the actual part of the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't watch the movie thing.
Yeah, but they had like a bunch of kids that they've adopted or brought home and took care of. I don't remember the name of the gentleman or the new family.
We come to the part of the show where we're going to have to get the skinny, but we're going to get the skinny from you know who. Do this? Can I do this with sound? I don't think I can. Shit. Entire screen with sound. Yeah, I can do that. Cool. Let's do this one. Share. You guys see the screen?
Barely.
You guys don't see that, right?
No, you have to do it either.
Why? Doesn't make any sense. Okay, no worries. We'll take this off. But we're gonna ask the good old AI about it. Stop share screen. We'll try to do. So I'll try to do it. Try to do share screen, and I'll do window. The window doesn't let me do the sound, does it? Let's see what happens.
There we go.
Yeah, but we might not be able to hear it. Okay, I guess I could just. You don't have to hear it. Good evening. Tell us all about Natalia Grace, the Ukrainian American. The deep thinking on that deep thinking. Yeah, I put it on.
What is your thought on it, Marcos? On this, I mean, I know you've looked into it. What's your thought on it?
I think it's crazy. Like, I was shocked of everything I was searching about when it came to that situation. To leave a little girl in an apartment and saying that she's older and all this, that's.
You see, that's not where my mind goes. That's crazy that you took that perspective. You know what I mean?
It's crazy that that little girl.
How do you know it's a little girl?
Wow. Didn't they do the DNA test on her? Whatever test they did, where it confirmed.
They did.
That she was.
She was 9
years old. Yeah, 9 years old when that happened.
Well, how does a little girl? How is a little girl diabolical? How does a little girl collect knives? How does a little girl make a pass at the dad? How does a little girl say that she's going to kill everybody? How does a little girl have like the wherewithal to know about like the inner workings of our medical system and what loopholes she can take because of her dwarfism and her achondroplasia? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's another thing too.
Everything's screaming that I'm old.
You know? Yeah, I was thinking that when I was watching some of that stuff. I'm like, how would a little girl even know how to like pass on a dude? Like,
Correct. Exactly right. So that's the question, really. Like, what do you mean?
And you know what?
Where does she even learn?
Yeah, turn one image 1 and turn one image 3.
What was that, Marcos?
She does look a lot older when she was a little girl.
Well, even now, like if you look at her now, she doesn't look like she's in her 20s. She looks like she's in her I would say 30, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would say 40s. Yeah.
40s.
Yeah,
wow.
40s.
Fucked her up. Okay, so here's some pictures of her, right when she was a kid. So thanks, Chat GPT. And then early life and adoption. Natalia Grace, according to Chat GPT, Natalia Grace Barnett was born in Ukraine, September 2003, with a diastrophic dysplasia and a rare form of dwarfism, which is called achondroplasia. After an initial adoption and return to New Hampshire, she was placed with Christine and Michael Barnett in 2010, officially listed as a 6-year-old on her birth certificate. The re-aging and abandonment. Within 2 years, the Barnetts became convinced Natalia was actually an adult masquerading as a child. In a judge-approved flash decision, no hearing, no guardian for Natalia of her birth year was legally changed from 2003 to 1989. So that's weird on the other side, right? Transforming their 8-year-old into a 22-year-old overnight. They then moved her into an apartment alone, pocketed her disability payments, and left for Canada. But pocketed her disability, but paid for her apartment and her utilities, right?
Yeah, but
Okay.
I mean, how much can a disability be?
Right, and how much can an apartment and food be?
Yeah,
and utilities
in
right?
Indiana, I mean, I don't think it's much in Indiana.
It can't be, but her right. So okay,
Probably washed out. I'm saying it probably washed out.
Yeah, right. Same shit. Right,
out.
Exactly. So the way they put it is like they pocketed. Yeah, but they were fucking putting her up.
They're paying for the apartment. I mean, the apartment needs electricity.
And food and electricity and water and everything, everything. So she then moved into an apartment. Right. So in 2019, prosecutors charged the Barnetts with neglect. After a marathon trial, Michael was acquitted in late 2022, and Christine's charges were dropped shortly thereafter. Meanwhile, a 2023 DNA and medical age analysis restored Natalia's birth year to 2003, confirming she really was a child when abandoned then. So, and then the True Crime Spotlight, thank you for knowing me so well. He really does know everything about me. Rescued by Cynthia and Antoine Mans, then later liberated by Nicole and Vince. Okay, so rescued by this other religious family, and then liberated by Nicole and Vince DePaul, which are her people now. Natalia now lives in the Paul family, is studying for a GED now at 22, and then becoming a grade school teacher. story has spawned seasons of A Curious Case of Natalia Grace on Discovery and blah, blah, blah. You guys have a question for the highly intelligent ChatGPT? Anybody? You?
Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to get a
question.
I want to make sure.
Can you really confirm an age by testing, by blood testing?
I don't know. Can you? Is that even possible?
Usually it's a lot faster, but this is the deep think. This is like he's doing extra research for us. Seriously. This is the O4 Mini High, which is like the big time. That's why it reasons, right? It says like it thought for 10 seconds, and then it says the user has asked me a question, and he reasons why, and then he brings you the links that he used to get to his information. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so it says that you can estimate a person's age from a blood sample, but you cannot pinpoint the exact birth date just from blood tests. Here's why. For over a decade, researchers have discovered that certain CPG sites in our DNA gain or lose methylation, a very predictable way to get as we get older. Okay, so there's a certain thing in the blood that tells you, it changes as you get older, so you know what it is. So that's why. But blood, it can only go so far. It cannot tell you the birth dates, but it can tell you within 3 to 4 years of the range.
So she could have been a lot older.
I mean, it says that, yeah. I mean, so, look, the bottom line, the only way that she's not, like, she's still a kid, like, she wouldn't be considered an older person is if that doctor was lying. I mean, right? So
right,
that's a really huge piece of the case, because I mean, if the doctor is not lying, then it really is 22 years old. He really did do this, but then that leaves the question: how does a 9-year-old know all that shit?
Well, so
how does she have a period?
Here's the thing: that lady took her to the doctor to see about her feet because she was hurt.
Mm-hmm.
He took her to see the doctor, and the doctor did some X-rays and stuff, and she said this is how this all began. Where no, she's not an adult; she's still a child. Was because of the hip. The way the hip is was, I guess they could tell by I didn't even know you could tell by the hip of where the joints are at that time of an age of a child. So I didn't understand that, and I wish we had a doctor to tell us. If there's a doctor listening, please tell us.
We got this. We got close enough. Watch this. Oh, what? Come on, you know me. Get out of here. So yeah, this guy knows for sure. Sign in. You're not gonna do this to me, are you? Oh God. I'll get right back to you. So you don't know my fucking password.
Yeah.
So
but that's so that I didn't know. I guess there's certain bones, I guess, that your body's built that it tells you. I don't know, because like I said, I'm not a doctor. So I didn't know that when they said that in a documentary where apparently how your hip is and the bones, how they grow, you could tell that was still a child's hip and not an adult. We
can all ask these questions, but we have to ask them, we have to be quiet so we can ask, right? So I'll start off. Hey, so in the Natalia Grace story, the Ukrainian American that came over from Ukraine, they thought she was 6 years old. What's the verdict here? Why did she know so much as a child, but then also was exonerated with a 22-year-old test now? What do you know about that?
The Natalia Grace case is quite bizarre. Natalia, a Ukrainian adoptee, was thought to be a child, but then her adoptive parents claimed she was an adult with a rare form of dwarfism. A medical evaluation later suggested she was much older than originally thought. However, it's a convoluted case with legal and ethical issues. What's your take on it?
Well, you're on the podcast right now, and we wanted to bring your opinion. Well, you don't have to have an opinion, but I mean, we have a factual... something that can grab some really, current news that we might want to ask. So this is a question. So what about, there was a hip, right? There was an issue with her hip, and the medical team kind of gleaned that she was younger from a hip. What do you know about that?
You're referring to the medical assessments on Natalia's age. Certain tests, including those focusing on bone growth and development, like the hip, can provide clues about a person's age. However, those assessments can sometimes be inconclusive or vary greatly, especially in cases involving growth disorders like dwarfism. So, while it's a piece of the puzzle, it's not definitive on its own. Want me to dig up the latest on this?
So there you go. So you can, as he said, we don't have a doctor, but we have the close enough, right? So yeah, you can get stuff from, the hips to see how old people are.
Which, I mean, it's crazy.
Sure, medical stuff is crazy.
I just never thought that could, in my wildest thoughts, I never thought that
there's so many things in your wildest thoughts, medical wise, that you have no idea. And me too. I have no idea.
I know.
Like there's a million things.
I mean, it's just popped my cherry again. So.
Oh God. Oh God.
It's AC's favorite word.
No, when you're using it in that context, okay. I love cherry everything. I love cherry everything. I love it. I love the taste of cherry. It's like ruined. Oh God. Okay. So what kind of questions do you have, Marcos? Maybe I can ask the Oracle here. What comes to mind?
I can't think of a question to ask this dude.
I mean, don't even think about this thing. Just think about a question that you have. Like, what's a question that's burning, like, from this case?
Why did they run tests if when they ran the test on her to make sure that she was her age? Why did they have to run that test? Why didn't they just do like the hip stuff? Because the hip stuff is what really says.
You mean like why they run the DNA?
Yeah, like why did that DNA test?
Why was blood definitive and not the hip?
Yeah, I mean you basically brought her back to what she said she was when, with all the things that I've heard about this story, it's crazy. That girl has to be older.
She really does, man. I'm telling you, like, that's why it surprised me when you came in and said that, because I was like, oh man, look, right away she was like, you know
what, I have a question.
Okay.
Ask it what would be Christine Barnett's motive?
Very good.
I want to know that.
You know what? Everyone be quiet. You ask him. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
What was Christine Barnett's motive against Natalia Grace?
Maybe it's strange to me. Hey, what was the motive for Natalia Grace? Like, what would the parents' motive be? What would they benefit from eventually dropping her off in an apartment?
It doesn't like anybody. Do.
I'm sorry. Did you guys watching Copilot like I am? No, right?
No. We're in the three little circles.
My apologies. Let's go back to Copilot here.
Sure thing.
Okay,
so about Natalia Grace.
Yeah, let us know. Start from the top. So what would be the benefit for Natalia's parents, right? The Barnetts. What would be the overall benefit for them to do this to her, to a little girl, supposedly?
The motives behind the actions of Natalia Grace's adoptive parents, the Barnetts, are complex and controversial. Some speculate they might have believed Natalia was an adult posing as a child to exploit them. Others suggest more nefarious or self-serving reasons, like wanting to absolve themselves of caretaking responsibilities. It's a tangled situation with no clear-cut answers. Do you want me to check the latest updates on this case?
Yes, please.
The Natalia Grace case has continued to draw public attention. A documentary titled The Curious Case of Natalia Grace, The Final Chapter, has shed more light on her situation. Natalia has always maintained she was a child at the time of her adoption, and recent DNA tests seem to confirm she was indeed younger than the Barnetts claimed. No criminal charges have been filed against her subsequent adoptive family, the Manses, though their treatment of her has also been under scrutiny.
All right, so fine, but all right.
Hey, Adrian.
Hey.
Oh, what's on your mind today?
Sure. So the Natalia Grace case, what
What benefits did the parents
Hold
have?
on, stop.
Oh, sorry.
No, not you, him. He started talking over it. What happened? What do you want to ask?
What was the motive for Kristen Barnett? Like, what was her motive, Kristen Barnett?
They said he said it was murky. Like there's no real. That's part of the thing. Is like some people just wanted to absolve her, absolve her of having to take care of this girl that she thought was a woman. But really, that's all they have. They just they don't know why. And then what I was going to ask was then, well, you'll see.
Hey, Adrian.
Hey,
what's new?
Hey, so in the Natalia Grace case, what the mother, right? The Barnett, the mom. What was her name? Kristen Barnett. Why didn't she go to jail if she did all these things supposedly?
Legal complexities and questions about Natalia's actual age muddled the case, leading to difficulties in pursuing criminal charges against Christine Barnett. These factors, combined with claims of abandonment but not abuse, resulted in legal outcomes that some found surprising. The case is a tangle of legal and ethical issues, which is probably why she didn't end up in jail.
I mean, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, so I get that. I guess
this thing is awesome. I like this. I'm gonna start using that.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Tiff, how are ya?
What's up, Tiffy? How are you? So yeah, that's what's happening. Holy crap, that's fucked up.
So I do have a question. Ask it if Kristen Barnett is still in jail.
She's not.
Oh, she's not in jail because I thought she was still in jail.
Hey, Adrian.
Hey, what's the latest on Kristen Barnett? Where is she now? What are her thoughts? What does she have any contact with her husband from the Natalia Grace case? No. You don't hear me anymore? So in the Natalia Grace case, what's up with the Christine Barnett? What's going on with her? What's the latest, the current? Is she in contact with her ex-husband?
Christine Barnett had her neglect charges dismissed in March 2024 due to insufficient evidence, and she seems to have kept a low profile since. It's unclear if she's currently in contact with her ex-husband, Michael Barnett. The case has drawn a lot of media attention and even inspired TV series.
Okay. And then what's going on with Natalia Grace? Is she thriving on her own? I mean, what has she benefited from this since this has happened? Does she get donations? How is she sustaining herself?
Natalia Grace is currently living in upstate New York with a couple who also has dwarfism. Her story, which inspired documentaries and TV series, continues to draw attention, but specific details about her current means of support or financial situation weren't mentioned in the latest reports.
Got it. Thanks. Okay.
You're welcome.
So that's his take on it.
Okay.
And we can continue looking at all media. I like the fact that we can just look at all the media and make our own conclusions. God, I hate this looks so much.
So I want to show you a video.
Go for it.
We're gonna go a little bit further, where the family that she's with now are handling her finances and stuff, right? They're trying to figure things out, piece things together.
Mm-hmm.
We'll come to find out that the other family, the one that brought her in, and the guy that was a priest or Baptist, whatever, he apparently took all her money, bought a house, and now she's in. They didn't tell her she needed to pay taxes.
Nah,
so now she's got to pay taxes. Now.
There's too much. There's too much. No, no, it's impossible.
I'm going to show you this here.
Do it.
Ready?
Talk about how we can handle all this. Natalia didn't have an ID when she first here, so she had no way to get a bank account. And basically, I was forced to become her payee, even though she's 20 years old and totally could take care of her own money. What's unfortunate is the money that she's received from appearances. She doesn't have any of that.
She signed a W-9. that basically means that she's on the hook for all that money to the government for taxes.
Natalia wants to believe that Cynthia and Antoine love her. I doubt that's the case. It seemed really clear to me that they were just using her for money.
Seems pretty clear to me.
So this is what, the fourth family that uses her?
This is now the other family now that she's, that's handling her finances. The one that they're talking about was the one that was previous that helped her when they found her, helped her to find her age and go after all this stuff and go through social media to get money. So this lady, she's just kind of, I think she's the attorney, if I'm not mistaken. And it just, I want you to listen to the rest of this because it gets interesting.
Let's do it.
Was duped by the Manses, right? Because she does turn over her money to them. She's completely in the dark about any taxes she may owe. She does not understand the effect that this additional income is going to have on her government benefits. And basically, she's seeing very little of the money. The bulk of it went to Cynthia and Antoine, and they bought a house with it. So when tax season rolls around, who's stuck paying the bill?
Of course.
For the money the Manses tricked Natalia out of.
Yeah.
Natalia.
I don't file taxes, you guys. I don't have a reason to file.
What the Manses
What the fuck is this person?
Right.
They should not be able to get away with it.
Wait, what?
I told Vince, let's just cut the middleman out, and I just called Cynthia myself. She normally never answers, but this time, lo and behold, she actually answered. Hello.
This is crazy.
Hi, is this Cynthia?
Listen to this part.
It's time for the gloves to come off. Hi, this is Nicole DePaul. Oh, hi. Yes. Did you get the 1099 that Natalia signed for the taxes? Because she needs that document.
Also, she indicated that you were going to pay that tax bill, so.
Well, that's not what was said. What was said was we told her we would go in on it because it was our money. Well, we never said we would pay that whole thing. That devil's a liar. We're not paying that whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no.
So you haven't. Do you? What do you think she should pay for, even though she doesn't have any of that money of the $104,000 you guys received? She hung up months before tax season.
Okay, so do you think they used her for her money? Now who used who? Right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So who used who now? But you won't speak to Kristen Barnett because you feel that she did you wrong. But this family that really did you wrong, and they have proof of it, you don't believe that they did you wrong. Like, I don't get it. That doesn't make sense to me where they don't believe this family didn't do anything to her. They took her money. They were in debt. They didn't have enough money to even buy food. When she came across Natalia, they used her for groceries. They used her for her money because they went right away to change that what she was receiving money to their address. And all the benefits came to them. And they took it off of the Barnett, Kristen Barnett and Mark Barnett. They stopped receiving that. So they stopped paying for her apartment and everything because she moved in with them. So they took all that off. So they said, okay, fine. There you go. Take it.
Yeah. God, let's look at the comments here. I think the truth is always in the comments, right? Like, so can you squeeze in there? Can you scroll bar? Do not scroll down, but like hit control and do the scroll bars to make it bigger.
I forgot how it was.
Yeah, no worries. So hit the control, the button control, and then do the scroll wheel.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. Perfect. So it says you can tell that Cynthia chick is ghetto as fuck. They don't understand she's trauma bonded, and an abused child was never taught anything. She's basically a child still mentally because of the neglect. These people are helping Natalia to become a fully functioning adult. I can't wait to see her get a driver's license and move on her own. Admitting to not paying taxes and on live is crazy work. Yeah. I knew a family that was just using her. That is so awful. They should have been able to adopt her from the start instead of the Barnetts, scammer mans. So people seem to be on the side of the mans. I love that they finally told her that she wasn't bad, that they gave her what she needed. So the mans must trust also been ignorant in the tax situation. I mean, yeah. I mean, what do you guys think? Does this make sense?
It doesn't. It does not make sense to me at all. Like, you know, and then, I mean, let me find it. There's a clip where she changed her whole thing too.
Who changed the whole thing?
So Natalia gets caught
Mm-hmm.
in a lies, and then everybody cuts her off.
But this is a pattern, bro. Why do people hate this chick? You know what I mean?
Apparently she's I don't know. I have no idea.
I wish I could have looked more into the story because it's super interesting. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think after an hour and a half of talking about it, I think I get it. It's just like, well, I don't get what's happening because I don't get why, if she's so young and innocent, then why does she know all that shit? And why is she doing that? Like, why is she know to do that? First of all, how does she know how to do like government loopholes with like our medical system to get benefits? How does she know how to seduce a man that we haven't seen that yet, right? Didn't she say that she seduced him?
Yeah, I mean, there's allegedly that's what she did. There's allegedly that she was seducing the men in the psych ward that she was at.
Okay, where's that at? We gotta see that.
That was let me find it. This part here, before we get into that, this is where I'm at right now. Cynthia gets caught in a web of lies where apparently there was abuse, and apparently she was very physical with Natalia, and she doesn't want to talk about it here. Well, why not? Why are we not? Cynthia's the one that adopted her.
Oh, but there was abuse
after
with the Barnetts.
No, after the Barnetts, Cynthia and
the Mans.
Yeah,
yeah.
This is
gotcha.
them, and they had 7 other kids that they had adopted too.
Gotcha.
So let me play this real quick here.
Any of the kids ever beaten or physically abused by Cynthia or Antoine?
I don't want to talk about that.
You want to talk about that?
No.
People trying to make my mothering seem like I'm a bad mom. Is this a front? Like me, my mothering isn't a front. I'm gonna yell at my kids if they need yelled at. I'm gonna pop that butt if they need that butt pop. I'm not a Susie homemaker, and I'm not gonna pretend I am. But what I am is Cynthia Mans. I'm a true mother. I'm never gonna walk away from my kids, no matter what.
Wow. Oh my God.
Cynthia slapped Bubby open-handed in the face right here, just like an open hand.
He brutally battered her with a belt. Natalia was shaking.
Were you or any of the kids?
So I don't understand the reasoning of Natalia where there's proof there that they caught on camera during the documentary, and yet the Barnetts, Kristen is still some awful person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to make sense of it. I'm trying to make sense. Okay, you'll won't talk to her to ask her any questions. Why did you? I would want to know if I was in her shoes and this has all happened and she, sent me to a psych ward or she did this. I would want to know. I would be like, why did you do this? Why did you treat me this way? Why did you think I was this type of person? Why did you think
why
I
did she
was
never
not...
want to talk to her again like that? You get me?
Yeah.
Like, why?
Because she got caught in her lies?
Right, exactly.
And these other couple that take her money, there's abuse, and yet it's okay.
And they're okay, right? Because they're cool. We like them. But what are they doing?
What do you think about that, Marcos? Would you talk to Kristen Barnett if you were Natalia?
I mean,
that guy.
Wouldn't you want to know? Wouldn't you want to know? What she asked? I'm sorry.
We're talking about the dude.
No, the girl.
No,
the
the
mom.
girl.
The mom. Kristen Barnett.
She's the
Barnett.
one. She's the one that doesn't want to talk right now, right?
I think she's fine. It's she doesn't. She just said on the documentary. Natalia said, "I don't want to talk to ever. I don't want to ever want to talk to Kristen
To
Barnett
Kristen.
to Kristen Barnett again. Never. Like, why? Wouldn't you want to get more? Like, wouldn't you want to have her talk to like so she incriminates herself? Like, she's clearly guilty. Like, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, because you know how, you have abusers, you have all this, people that do the grapes and stuff to other people, and they always want to talk to and say, why did you do this to me? Why did you do this? They always want answers. Why doesn't she want answers from her on why she treated her this way? Why did she give her up? Why was she so hard on her and treated her the way, I mean, I would want to know. I'd be like, excuse me.
Right.
Can you tell me why you treated why didn't you like me? Was I because I was a girl? Was it because your husband paid attention to me?
Is it maybe because your husband came on to her and like the husband was, maybe it was that.
Yeah, I would want to know, and I would tell me answers.
Right.
Give me answers, please.
But instead, we have this conspiracy theory that's always going to be, like, because you know why? It also sells TV shows and newspapers and clips and clicks, right? A lot of clicks.
Yeah.
So it's good for business. But this is a weird one, man. This is like, I don't know about this.
Right. I told you this was a crazy one.
So let's do this. I'm going to find out. I'm not going to share the screen, but I'm going to ask what other, there's other, I know this is not the first time it's happened. So what other times has this happened? It's the easiest way to do it. There you go. So I know, remember we did Gypsy Rose the first time we talked about her. And then we were like, okay, what other Munchausen by proxy,
Well, apparently before this story, there was another story that is similar to this one. That apparently, I guess, happened prior to this. So they referred back to that case. And to be honest with you, I didn't catch it. I just saw it in the documentary. I didn't catch it. But apparently there was another one that was kind of as big as this.
Cool. So we got a couple. Wow. So, okay. So youth age fraud, tampering with birth dates to squeeze into underage leagues is shockingly common. In African football alone, FIFA banned Nigerian youth teams 1989 for fielding overage players. So Cameroonian international Toby Mimbo was famously cycled through multiple passports to shave off years of his life. To recently elite academies in Manchester United and Manchester City have been rocked by allegations that foreign players were, younger or older. So they would put older people in younger spots. And then let's see. So grown-ups, 32-year-old social worker in May 2024, U.S. social worker was arrested for posing as a high school junior, complete with fake transcripts to play in her school basketball team. Wow. In January 2023, a 22-year-old assistant coach, Arlisha Boykins, donned a 13-year-old's jersey and scored for her Virginia high school JV squad. Oh my God. Like, sports are a different thing now. Are you kidding me? We got sports. And then looks like when documents are missing or disrupted, authorities sometimes turn to medical tests or mere appearance to decide if someone's a child or an adult. In Belgium, 2019 ruling overturned the decision that deemed an asylum seeker an adult on grounds that they rely too heavily on bone x-rays. And in 2024, investigation of EU countries frequently misclassify minors as adults, depriving them of schooling and exposing them to abuse and adult detention. So it goes both ways. Some immigrants come in other countries and they make them, they look like older, they look like an adult, and they make them an adult. And then they imagine the other way, right? The other way, now you're a kid, but you're in an adult's world because everybody thinks you're an adult. And then now you have to, you're exposed to sex, the way people talk, the hard truths of America, the world, you know what I mean? Like, it works both ways. I just wonder how much, I don't know if she's gonna know, but how often each of them happen. But each of them are fucked up. Like, you're old. You imagine that? Like, you were just like, I'm just a kid. No, you're 25.
This story is, I really want to look really into it. get more information out of it because there's something there that's not.
She knew too much. She knew too much when she was a kid.
9 years old, living by herself. That's nuts.
But I mean,
how did she make it? Like, how did?
Yeah, definitely my question.
How could a 9-year-old make it on her own apartment? She has the dwarfism and all that going on. Like, that's just a lot for a little girl. Like, I would have got caught up a long time ago. They would have already realized that she was a child.
Well, yeah, but remember, they paid for her apartment. They were paying for her apartment, for her food, for her
No, but I'm
electricity.
talking about just her being a little girl in that apartment by herself. A little girl would have
She's not.
Well, she wasn't though. Well, I mean, they say she was 9, so I mean, I guess maybe she was
What
a
do you mean she was a
girl,
little
but
bit? She was not a little girl. She was 22 years old. Like, I'm sorry, she was old.
I don't believe she was not. I believe she was older. Maybe 16, 17, maybe 18 when she got her apartment. You know what I'm saying? Like, I believe she was older. I don't believe she was 9.
That's people in your own apartment and you're 18. There's people, back in the day that were, people died in wars at that age. That's not the point. The point, hey Marco. There you go. Did you get this already? Yeah, you did, right? Hey Marco. Yeah, thanks for coming. Got some friends out there saying hello to you. Everything, I'm sorry, it makes no sense. Crazy little lady. Yeah, like it makes no sense that a kid would know all that shit. Even if your mom prepared you in Ukraine and said, okay, little girl, this is the way it's going to be. You have dwarfism. We can't afford this surgery. The only way for you to do it is to scam the entire U.S. country, the medical system. Get in there, find, scam the foster system. Make sure you stay under the radar. Learn English. Get in there. Have them use their benefits on you. Scam some family. Have them use their benefits on you, and then that, along with that, maybe you can get the stuff that you need to get. Like, it's so much shit. Like, you can tell a fucking 6-year-old that or a 9-year-old that. You can tell a 9-year-old to be like, what? They could be woke as fuck, but like, still, it's a lot of shit to keep in your head. And then you get here, and you're constantly a problem. You cycle through people. What's the problem, right? And then people say you're sexual towards men. You have a hypersexual, like. You bleed. Fine. You get a fucking Tiff out there. Like, is it normal for a 9-year-old girl to bleed? I know it's not normal, but like, bless you. But like, is it normal for a 9-year-old girl to bleed? So there's a couple of blaring things here. Period. Blood test, right? And sexual proclivity.
Well, and I mean,
right? What else? What else is in here? Like, so adult.
The Barnetts did, like, apparently they had a order. You can't just go and change your age, right? You got to prove it. They had an extensive amount of doctors come in to prove that she wasn't older. So are you telling me that all these doctors are now wrong?
And then
if
that
they
one
are,
doctor that says she's 22.
Right. So, but here's the question: now is there a malpractice of the doctors now? Do you know what I mean? So
at least, yeah, absolutely.
So now, where is she going to go after the doctors now?
Who? Her?
Yeah. Is Natalia going to go after the doctors now because they said that she was like 18 or no 20 when she was technically with the DNA, she was 9.
If she's not doing that, then that screams that she was older, because then she doesn't want to embroil herself in a fucking trial with doctors that said, like, many doctors that said and then those scientists are going to present evidence and be like, okay, well, this is why I think that she's older, and she doesn't want that.
Tiff says, I just want to know how she could know all of that. Me too.
Thank you. That's my question.
Me too. I mean, that it's crazy. And it's the most mind-blowing story I think I've done in a long time. Because
that Barnett lady said that when she went to shower, Grace, she had full pubes, everything.
Yeah. And that was the first day that they were in Florida.
She told me when I found
it's insane. It's so mind-blowing. And what's more mind-blowing is that she was hiding knives in her bed to kill her family, to kill the kids. And she admitted.
And why would she make this up? Why would any of the Barnetts make this up? And they both
had money.
Right?
They had money. They had nothing to gain. The Barnetts had, I mean, they
disabled
weren't
children. Like,
yeah,
just like her, like those people are saints. They took in another disabled child for what? To take her $900 a month? You know what I'm saying? Does that make any sense?
Yeah, they seemed well off before even she came in. So
sure, but like even if they're just normal, like what are they gonna do? Take her benefits? She's a disabled kid coming by herself, and then who picked her? Like what is happening, right? So
I honestly think this was done more for. I'm gonna be honest. I think it was done more for. I think she needed, I think she needed medical help, and she wasn't getting it in the UK. So, I think her mom probably
shipped her
said,
out here.
yeah, and said, look, her mom was probably doing it for her own benefit to ship her out here and to get her adopted. But remember, she was adopted prior to another family, and they brought her back to the adoption agency and said, hey, we can't.
What's the problem here?
She's too much.
What was that problem?
And Kristen Barnett went and talked to that family, and they wouldn't talk to her. Like, they said a couple things, but wouldn't talk to her really.
Constant problems, period. Constant problems. She has a period. She has pubes. She kept knives, hypersexual. This is what I'm talking about. Like, how the fuck do you...
Isn't the adoption agency supposed to tell you if they get brought back for something in the agency?
I don't know if they can tell you that.
If it's a troubled child.
And she didn't even like playing with little kids like her age. She liked playing with older kids.
Yeah. I mean, I think for me, the big red flag would be all of that on top of you just tried to make me run over my son. Because remember, she put her hands on her, and while she was driving, and she went straight into the mailboxes while her son was playing in the driveway. So by an inch, she could have killed her son. So when she was yelling at her and took her hands off, said, hey, she realized she didn't run over her son. She hit the mailbox because she covered her eyes. I mean, those are things that'd be like, what? Mind blowing.
And I heard things that she did. She would put like those pinchy sticky tack things that you put on the wall. She'll spray them on the floor so they can step on it. That's not little kid action.
No, she put poison in her coffee and in the kids' drink. That was the other thing.
Yeah.
It was like some type of poison. She put her bleach or something in her coffee, and when she took a sip, she's like, Natalia, did you do something? And she's like, and then she grabbed the son and she kicks the drink of whatever the son was drinking. Don't drink that. Like, that would be another red flag for me. That would be just, I would be like, you know what? I'm sorry. You're going back. I'm sorry, but I can't.
I think if she wanted to right now, she could still play it off as a little girl.
Yeah, I think she could probably. I think she could probably play it off if she wanted to, maybe in her 20s, and try to go to college or something. That's what I think.
I don't even know what's going on here. I'm completely taken aback by this entire thing. And like some people, think it's like you can be this. I don't even know how you can think this is a little girl with all that evidence on the other side.
The sad part is that this is now, if there's people out there that really want to help other children in other places, this might hurt a lot of kids.
Definitely. And it's happened before. This is not the first time. So like, definitely people, that crosses your mind. You're like, just like, okay, I'm going to order a bride from Russia. You don't know what's coming. The website says one thing, but a living person is coming. So, that's hardcore. And kind of the same thing. It's like, I don't know what I'm going to get. People kind of want to get their, their own DNA. I always said that. I was like, so several people in my life were like, would you adopt? I'm like, I don't think so. I don't think I would. It's selfish, but I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you straight up. I'm not that kind of person. The only time I would have a child is if that's the whole thing about it to me, right? But of course, the kids need help, and just because I'm not about it doesn't mean that anybody else is, right? I respect those people very much, but I don't have.
This would make me think twice. This would make me think twice if I were to adopt and be like,
of course. But that's on top of that. What I just explained about me, there's that could happen. People think about it all the time. Of course, absolutely. You don't like where are they from? Like, well, I don't even have any papers on you. I didn't see you be born. Like,
I would want to know where the parents came from, what their background would be, what you know what I mean? And they're not going to tell you that. Like, but it would probably make sure you would be able to see if they have some mental health issues.
But why are you here without your parents? Right. So what were the parents? The parents that she's just adopted. Like she just came. They sent her over. Like who sent her over?
Well, in the documentary, the mom comes out. The mom does come out in the documentary. Natalia's mom, and she does speak out she says that the daughter was 6 at the time, and comes out and says and confirms it, but there's no legal paper. And the other red flag for me would be is the birth certificate. The picture on the birth certificate does not look like Natalia. That to me, I'd be like, hey, this is not the kid. We agree. Like, where is this one? Why are you giving me, I don't know.
No,
I mean, so many red flags from the beginning that I would not, I don't think me personally, I would have felt comfortable taking this child home with me with all these red flags. Like if I would have saw that at the hotel when she took a shower, I would have gone back to the agency, or I would have called them immediately and say, hey, did you guys do any medical background? Like what do we know here?
Right.
That's how it'd be.
No, I don't know. I'm fascinated, but I kind of hate this fucking case. I kind of hate it.
Marcos, would you adopt? Would you knowing the story, like would
No.
What'd you think?
I wouldn't adopt regardless. I would rather have my own.
But let's say that if you can, they say you can't have children, but you have an option to adopt. Would you at that point?
No.
Then you just wouldn't have kids?
I would rather just not have kids, even though I'm not against it, but I just don't feel like I wouldn't want that.
Now that's a question. Like I said, could they have told him that she was already previously in a foster home, or someone tried to? I mean, are they legally allowed to say that she was brought back? It didn't work.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Does your GBT AI chat thing answer that question?
What question is that?
Can the adoption agency let them know if the child has been brought back for, I don't know, if so let's say I adopt this child and I say, never mind, it's not working out, and bring it back.
I don't know if you can bring it back. I think then Child Protective
They
Services.
did. No, they did, because she was adopted previous, and they brought her back saying it wasn't working.
Place?
Yeah.
Right.
And that's when they reached out to the Barnett family and said, hey, we have a child that came in before it goes into the foster system.
Okay. Let me ask. What can you explain in detail what happens when a family adopts a child and then immediately brings it back to the same place? What protocol happens then? Is it like are the parents notified? What happens? We're strictly thinking about the Natalia Grace case here. Let's see. Deep thinking, baby. Ooh. Uh-oh. Let's do it again. All right, cool. Talk to me. What happens when a child is adopted and then it's brought back to the same place? We're asking specifically about the Natalia Grace case. Was the original mother alerted? What happens then? What happened between the time that they returned her and she got a new family? All right, yeah, it's deep thinking. So I wanted good answers. I just wanted superficial answers. So yeah, it's a good question. I mean, and do they even come back to the same place? And or was it normally is it Child Protective Services, or is it this family, or is it like the same? The same place gets so. All right. In the Grace case, so when adoptive parents give a child back to the same agency, there are legal processes involved. Typically, agencies ensure that the adoption is the final and don't get regularly accepted returns. The Grace case, the Barnetts didn't follow the usual protocol. They didn't return her to this agency, but instead sought legal guardianship termination through the court and later abandoned her. This case highlights the unique situation outside the standard procedure. So this is the reason why it's happening is because it's outside standard procedures. There's usually a protocol for this, but in this case, they didn't do what the law said. They didn't give her right back. They didn't return her to the agency, but instead sought legal guardianship termination through the court. All right. So in the Grace case, the Barnetts did not follow the standard protocol. Instead, they sought the guardianship, and then they petitioned for a change in her legal birth date, bypassing the adoption agency. So good question, Rose. The original birth mother, Anna Volodymyrnieva Gava, was not notified because the proper return process was not followed. Prosecutors later prepared to call her in trial, but she was not involved in the Barnetts abandoned Grace. When the adoptive parents return a child, the birth parents are typically not notified and their parents' rights are terminated once the adoption is finalized. Adoption agencies have disruption policies but do not inform birth parents in such cases. In this case, this specific case, the Barnetts did not return Natalia to the agency or Ukraine. Instead, they left her in an apartment, changing her birth date, and the courts decided all that, right? Mm-hmm. So when a child returns to the adoption, the biological parents are generally notified because their parental rights were terminated during the adoption. The adoption agency was Child Welfare Services steps in to handle the disruption and may rehome the child. If the adoptive parents return the child to Child Services, the department ensures the child is placed in foster care. He goes on for a while. Let's see. Normally, if a child is placed in an adoption agency, the agency or child steps in to arrange the placement, blah, blah, blah. And then in this case, after 2010, Natalia was readopted by the Barnetts and then later reclassified as an adult, leading to the neglect charges. Birth mother was not notified. Cool. Yeah, so we got that. Thank you, Chat GPT. So yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Well, let's just take it to the end.
Right. Well, we're down to our last 15 minutes of the show. What a crazy story. For all you listeners out there, let us know what your thoughts, what you're thinking, what opinions you've got, let us know. And we'll get back to you.
I'm bringing this up because this is the main question of the whole fucking podcast. Absolutely. This is it. This is the crux of it.
Yeah.
How
could she know? How could she know all of this stuff?
How do I know if you really love me?
So it's crazy. It's crazy. Marcos, thank you so much for being on. And I know you've got a podcast coming up soon. We'll be letting everybody know when that happens. And I know you're on TikTok. So let us know how we can find you on TikTok. What's your name? And he also has I heard a big battle coming up soon, right?
Yeah. Big battle on the 17th.
On the 17th. So if you want to go support Marco out there, he's on TikTok. How can we find you on TikTok?
The Real One Studios.
That's where he's going to be.
The Real One Studios on TikTok. Cool.
And what time is your battle on the 17th?
Well, my battle technically is on the 18th on my day, but since all my people are from Cali and stuff, then it's going to be on the 17th. So it'll be 12 o'clock my time.
And AC Marcos is from Miami.
No way.
Miami, Florida.
That's awesome, brother. Born and raised.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. I'm Cuban.
I didn't know that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We got to talk. Yeah, we got to talk.
I talked to her for a while, and she told me about you and the host that you guys have, and I didn't know he was from Miami.
Yeah. Born and raised. I've been living in Las Vegas for the last 8 years or so. 8 years now, coming up in June. But yeah, born and raised, man. Kendall.
What's life like in Vegas?
Why Vegas? My brother lived out here. So when my brother went to the Navy, he ended up meeting a girl from Bullhead, Arizona, and then they settled here. And then for years, he tried to get me out here. And then when I finally did, I was always like 305 till I die, bro. I'm gonna bury me in Hialeah. And I was like, when I came here, I was like, but then again, I also felt like I'd never belonged there because it was hostile. It's like a hostile place to be.
Yeah,
and,
yeah, definitely.
And when I finally, I didn't live in Hialeah. I lived in fucking I live in Coral Gables, South Miami area, like, super tame, but still, but not as tame, right? Like we think it's tame, but like to anywhere else, it's like, what the fuck is this place? As soon as I land there, or after living here, as soon as I land there, I feel this like existential dread, bro. The first thing you hear is like, boy, what you're like, oh my God, it's just here it's different. It's completely different. So that's what I wanted. So I felt West Coast all day. But yeah, we'll talk. Check this out. It's one of the sneak peek. I have to. Let's see. Can I turn my camera around? Mirror my camera. There we go.
That looks cool. Is that the new logo you're using?
It's a part. I'm doing a whole intro, and that's one of the things. But it's going to be made completely with AI. So it's completely Sora AI. There's some really cool things there. So I'm looking forward to making something that I completely just typed out with your mind. It's like, I want this, and then you'll hopefully see it next week. I'm gonna work on it tonight. So
AC has been he's the one that does everything for us, all our technical stuff. He's also the one that we go get drunk in Vegas and do karaoke and pop cherries.
Oh no cherries popping. No, none of that.
Pop cherries.
Well, I'd never gone karaoke, right? Never in my life.
Oh, right.
So I went with AC and Sam and Dave. We all went out there, and first time ever went karaoke, which was interesting. It was awesome. Had a lot of drinks, and it was the best.
Wow, it was the best. It was the best karaoke ever.
I went to Vegas like 9 months ago, and it was so hot. I didn't even go to the strip. It was miserable out there.
I hate that. I basically live for the other 9 months. For 3 months, we're just scorching. We live in the center of the fucking Mars, where it's so fucking hot. But I'll give that up. I'd rather have that than 85 degrees every day and humid. That's just me.
Yeah, and one of those trips we went back to Vegas. Him and my husband became lawyers and attorneys in district.
No, you gotta tell that story. But
oh my God, you got to go back a couple episodes. They actually comped our entire meal.
Yeah.
They thought that we were attorneys, and
they thought that I was a district attorney. So they're like, "We know who you are. Don't worry. Your money's no good here." I was like, "Okay."
We were like, "Okay, all right."
Sounds good.
That's awesome.
Well, anyway, we could do this all night. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for coming. Awesome. And Sam will be here next week, hopefully. And Marco, come by anytime.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys for having me.
Don't go anywhere, Marco. Stay right there.
Okay.
And good night, everyone. And peace out. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend.
Peace of chicken grease. Chicken grease.
Cheese.
Yo, the kids. Make sure the kids are not adults. Please. look at your kids. Look at them. Look at your kids and be like, "Are you a fucking adult? How old are you? How fucking old are you for real?"
Peace, everyone.